How about Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks? Sun Devil alum right there.
Chris Cartman, Sun Devil Source. Kenny, this has been an evolving offensive approach that you've talked about earlier in the week and getting into some stuff that maybe isn't what you prefer to do. But what's that been like for you over the recent weeks and to see it kind of pay off the way it did tonight?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think the guys have really embraced the challenge, and I think, it's the effort that they gave tonight. It's the detail. I can't come in here and tell you right now that there was over 4 busts. There probably were, but I couldn't say them just based off the tape. And that hasn't been the case in games past. So the guys really took some ownership in just doing their 1/11th, and it's showing up. And, yeah, this is definitely way different than anything I've ever done offensively. But, it doesn't matter. And it all comes down to the kids and the guys on our team executing. And I couldn't be happier for how they executed tonight.
Do you remember like a certain point in time during the season when it maybe dawned on you that you needed to move into some different directions, and what was that like subsequently?
Yeah, when you got to run the football. I still think you have to run the football to win in college football. Throwing the ball is fun, right? And it's exciting and it's good. But at the end of the day, you have to be a physical football team. And teams that win championships play physical football, and they can run the ball. And so we were just trying to be creative to find an identity to how to run the ball. And if that meant get under center and run speed sweeps from cut splits and run toss sweeps, it's, a lot of teams do that and have a lot of success. So, it's not about what I'm comfortable with. It's about what puts our players in the best position to be successful.
Can you pinpoint like when exactly that sort of?
I would say after the USC game.
I have a 2-part question, Kenny. First, how relieved are you to see, it finally come together in the win column? And second, you guys had a really good second half offensively, put points on the board, and that's been a problem in earlier games. What made the difference? You're
not going to like my first answer. I'm not relieved at all. Like, I'm happy. It's going to be a great night, like fun night, great. But it's still about the process. Like, we're 4 plays away from probably losing the game too. But the feeling's a little bit different at night. And that's where people get wrapped up in. They get wrapped up in the feeling of winning, which is fun. But at the end of the day, I'm worried about the process. So I'm going to go back to work and find out what we can be better at, where we can grow from. In terms of the second half offensively, it just goes back to we didn't change anything. It goes back to the guys being detail-oriented all week. And like I said, on Monday, I challenged them pretty heavily. They were calling me Angry Dilly on Monday. And just because, I let them know that that's not going to get it done. And for them to respond like that and play their best game, play clean, go 8 for 11 on third downs, go 5 for 5 in the red zone scoring. You talk about a completely different offensive performance, and it just goes back to just doing your 1/11th and giving extreme effort. And I think those guys did that, and they deserve all the credit.
Hey, Coach, just the rushing attack tonight was really good. Just what allowed them to have so much success?
O-line moved people, timing of motions, selling of the speed sweep action by the speed sweep runner and not being lazy and showing hands and bursting off the mesh, the track of the back, the H-backs kick-out blocks, the effort after the ball was handed off, 11 people just doing their job. That was point blank. It's not a magical scheme. The guys just went out there and they played hard and they executed.
And then the kicking game the past couple of weeks has been
bad.
Great, yeah.
You can say bad.
But just how much confidence did it give the group with that 51-yarder going into the half?
It could be the difference in the game. You're talking about a 2-possession game there versus a 1-possession game because we won the middle 8. When you have a 10-point swing in the middle 8, you get the ball back with 40 seconds and go get 3 points and execute that. And, I was more intense on the field goal unit than I think I was on offense or defense, watching everybody. When you have a multitude of guys going in there, getting run over, and defensive guys just getting run over, that's a thankless job. I was just so happy with huge play in the game. And for us to execute a scenario like that, we haven't gotten to execute many scenarios at the end of a game. For us to win a 4-minute drill at the end of a game and take a knee, for us to win at the end of the second half and get the extra 3 points. That's winning football.
Coach Michael Carasino, Pitchfork Lunch. You said obviously running the ball is huge, but with DeCarlos getting back healthy and you said the challenge in calling plays coming up to this, but just having him and Cam in the backfield playing off each other, what What makes them so special? And when you're calling plays, how much easier does it make it?
Yeah, I think they just keep each other fresh. They're both similar runners, a little bit different, but similar. So I think they just keep each other fresh, and you got to keep guys fresh. And like I said, credit to the O-line, credit to everybody. We're starting to play with the level of effort on a consistent basis, pushing the pile. Like stuff like that wins. When you see teams like that, I still remember Kalen Balaj versus UCLA in a 4-minute drill on the road. And that was a winning team because we pushed the pile 15 yards. And that was what our identity is starting to show on offense tonight.
And with the motion, too, to piggyback off that, when Elijah's getting those big plays, too, could you see the defense's eyes just getting, like you guys say, a lot more dirty and maybe keying on the running back or keying on Elijah if they were getting the ball?
Yeah, obviously trying to get Elijah the ball is obviously the key. Like I said, it's not the scheme. The scheme didn't win the game. The players won the game. The execution won the game. The effort won the game. Everything goes to those guys. And I couldn't be prouder of those guys. Couldn't be prouder of Elijah. All those guys just executed at a high level, gave elite effort, and are unselfish.
Coach, you continually mentioned how explosive plays, especially in the run game, have been lacking all year. How was it to see that Cam Scotabo almost 70-yard run, and how was it to be like 9-10 yards of carry each time? Yeah,
that was obviously the explosive run. You know, I never look at yards per carry as a reflection of how you ran the ball. We had one big run, and then we consistently chopped wood down the field. And that one big run was huge in the football game. Credit to Messiah Swinson, the guy that I really challenged. And, they bring double gut cross in super wide. You have Gio Sanders blocking a defensive end, and then you have Messiah coming around, cleaning it up. Both those guys are 5th, 6th-year seniors on a 1-6 team. That tells you everything you need to know.
Hey, Kenny, Jake Seymour, Son of a Source. You've kind of talked about the lack of offensive leadership kind of throughout the season. And this week, you specifically challenged it. Did you see any improvements in that this week? And was there anything that maybe stood out?
I think it was just a group effort. I think the group just decided to make a change. And I think that's really what it was. I don't know if it was one person in particular. I know Joey's been doing a phenomenal job leading the O-line group, Joey and Leaf. But I really just think it's a group of people that are sick and tired of not getting it done and being competitive. And, they got it done tonight, and they deserve it. And hopefully they learn from this. They learn from if you just do things right and do your 111th and give extreme effort, a lot of good things are going to happen.
Doug Franz Unplugged, WTSMTV.com. Congratulations on your first conference win. Tell me can you explain the end of the first half? Because I could not hear the ref in the press box. First, it was Conyers' reception fumble recovery. Then it was injury timeout. Then it was replay. Then it was Conyers' no recovery, no fumble. He's down. But then they wound the clock on the whistle and not on the snap. And if it's an injury timeout, why is the clock going on the whistle and not the snap, or what happened?
So I'm not going to get too much detail on the rule because it's a good rule. But basically, if there's an injury under a minute and the clock is running, right, then you don't have to get burned a timeout. So Conyers got hurt. So what happens is it was a first down. So because Conyers got hurt, the clock stops instead of continuing to wind because there was a first down. We do not get charged a timeout because it's a first down. And then our field goal unit went out there, and once the play clears, they'll then start the clock again. So we had to be ready for a whistle kick there, knowing the clock was going to wind. There was all the other stuff you talked about. Was it a fumble? Was it a not? Which is why we had our offense over there ready. If they ruled it an incompletion, we would have been prepared to throw Hail Mary. And if it's not an incompletion, we got to be ready for a whistle kick, field goal in that scenario. And to see our guys go operate, that was pretty exciting.
Hey, Coach. Jonah Krell, Cronkite Sports. How was the defense in the second half able to limit Cam Ward and prevent them from scoring a touchdown? What changes did you see?
Situational football. I mean, we won the situations. We won third down in the second half, and then we won the low red zone battle. When you get them in the low red zone and give up two drives, give up 3 points, that's a win. I mean, that's what happened to us the week prior, right? Is you can't get in the low red zone or get in the red zone in general and not score offensively. And our defense, 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, held them to 3 points when they got inside the 15-ish yard line. That's winning the moments that matter, and that's winning football.
Hey, Coach. Sean Brennan, WCSN. You talked a little bit about the run game, but Carlos Brooks last week led the team in rushing and then had 3 scores on the ground today. From your perspective, what does he kind of bring to this running game as a whole?
Yeah, he's physical. He's passionate. He runs hard, runs through people. I mean, that's a guy who's battled a pretty severe injury and wanted to come back. He loves the game, and I think people feed off of that. So really good to have him back.
Hey, Coach, Mike Meekoff with the State Press. You know, you guys have been right there in pretty much every game. Every one of your conference games, I think, has been a one-score game in the fourth quarter. I've even heard people say, you know, you guys find new ways to lose every week. But, you know, how does it feel this week to finally find a way to win and get that, you know, off your back?
Yeah, it feels great. Feels great. It's good for our guys to see if we play complementary football, we can win football games. So it just, we're getting better every week. I can say that with confidence. We're getting better every week. Every week, it may not show it all the time. There may be some, you know, some bumps, but we're still getting better. And today we just kind of put together a somewhat complete game. And, you know, defense didn't play as good as they have in the past, but it doesn't matter because they won the moments. And football, like I keep saying, it's about those big moments that win or lose games. There's those moments in the game, and today we made those moments, and we won those downs.
Kenny, Blake Neiman, Cronkite Sports. Just knowing this winning is part of the process, but just to have guys, Arizona natives like Trenton Bourguet and DeCarlos Brooks have performances like tonight on homecoming, just what does that mean to them and just this group to, you know, have those Arizona guys have a performance here at home on homecoming?
Yeah, it's great. Arizona guys, stay home. I mean, it's pretty cool to do it in front of your home crowd. So I can think of one guy in particular that I've been hounding to stay home. And this is a moment that I think it's pretty cool for our guys to do this in front of their friends and family, and to do it in front of your friends and family is something special.
Yeah, Kenji Ito in Furno Intel. So, you know, your defense has showed out time and out week after week, and, you know, you're holding some of these offenses to under their average of yards. You know, it seems like your defense is like they're basically just the enforcer to some of these Pac-12 offenses you have faced. So what is the defensive philosophy / scheme that you could tell us without giving it away that makes your defense so good?
Attacking. The entire program is about attacking. It's a full approach, right? You can't say you're going to attack on defense and not on offense and not on special teams and not be aggressive and go for it. If you're going to be in a mindset that we're going to play to win games and we're not going to play scared, then you have to attack in every phase. And I think that's just how we coach. It's how we play. We play free and we play attacking. And I really don't know of a better place to play defensive line in the entire country than in this scheme. I don't. I think if you're a defensive lineman in the country and you watch our defensive linemen, you watch all the transfers that are brought in and the production they've had within Coach Ward's scheme, I think it should brighten everybody's eyes to say that could be me. And I think that's really what we should be highlighting, is how aggressive our defensive line is, how free they play, and the production of these kids that had no production at their prior school, and now they're coming out here and they're top 10 in the country in sacks, right? One of the top PFF guys in the country at defensive tackle. That's something people should want to play in moving forward.
We got one more right here. Coach, last week you said one of the problems was the offense's bus wasn't clean and the defense's was. Could you tell us some little things that were positives that you saw from the offense this week?
Well, I'll say this. We had 3 total dudes on a list, or 4 total guys on a list in the entire week. That's academics. That's late to a class. 4 people, which isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Pre-game meal, everybody was there 9 minutes early, whereas in weeks past, we had a streak where we didn't have all of our guys at pregame meal on time. Now we have 9 guys early, so it's all part of the process that goes into being successful.